Welcome to another week of Awakening Radio here on the Nighthawk Radio Network. Uh, I'm your host, Joe Atkins, along with Tracy Rousey, and
What's up?
tonight's going to be a good show. Tracy, what's been going on?
Well, we tried this once last week. We had Glen on, and about, I don't know, a good 35, 40 minutes into it, he lost power and we had to reschedule. But you guys have missed a good show that you'll never get to hear or see. So we're going to try to replicate as much of that as you can. But first of all, guys, remember nighthawk-radio.com, YouTube Music, Spotify, Rumble. Rumble is Nighthawk Radio, one word. Um, we got Seth's Daily Podcast start on Sundays at 5, in Dark Places Monday at 6. And we got a new show called Don't Quote Me. It's Probably Nothing, Tuesdays at 7. If you like conspiracy, anything about the government, it's going to be your show. But right now, we got actor. He's been in Batwoman, Upload, Loudermilk, Supernatural, Benchwarmers 2, iZombie, The Last of Us, Haunted Hospitals, and there's way more that I could ever name. Mr. Glen Ferguson, how are you, sir?
Good. This is take two
Take two.
from
That's right. Yeah.
from Friday. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
kind of sad to lose the power, but hey, it is what it
And
is.
it wouldn't bother me so much if it would have been a crappy show, but it wasn't. I mean,
That
it
was
was,
good. We were cooking for a while there, and all of a sudden, done.
yeah, I was like, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. And then dink, gone. So, so we're going to try this again. Hopefully your power stays on. Hopefully my mic will stay turned up. Seth, if my mic goes down, send me a message. Let me know. I'll turn it back up. But with that, Joe, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I'm still kicking.
Well, any day above this side of the dirt is good, I guess.
Correct.
So that's good to hear. So, okay, so you know, I hate to do it, but I'm going to have to ask a couple of questions that I asked you the other night. So first of all, with that, what got you into the paranormal? You told me a little bit about when you was a kid, and you're just kind of seeing these things. But yeah, let just kind of get into that. How you got kind of pulled into this?
I think my mother pulled me in as such because I had friends that had issues with poltergeist and stuff. So I talked to her about it, and she says, "Well, when you come along and do an investigation with me." But originally, I've been talking to the dead people since I was like 4 or 5 years old. Now they come and sit on my bed and they talk to me all night. And after a while, it started to really affect my health. So my mother kind of shut them out in a certain way. Now you just stop them coming because you're killing my kid here. You can't be up all night talking with you guys because we lived in a converted chapel of rest, which was just across the road from the church. So they kind of split the building into two, the first floor and the second floor. The Chinese people who owned the restaurant beside us had the upper floor and we had the lower floor.
Mhm.
And there's only three rooms in that actual lower floor. There's the bedroom where I shared it with my mother and parents, the living room, and the kitchen, and then you have to go through the kitchen to get to the bathroom. I think my first real bad experience that it kind of freaked me out for a bit was I got up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, so I got to go through the living room to the kitchen to the bathroom. And we got to the kitchen and the light was on. And I'm looking through the frosted glass. I'm like, that's my auntie. Didn't she die? I think I was at her funeral. And she's making a pot of tea, which is typical of what she would normally do in the kitchen.
Right.
Then when I put my hand on the door to open it, the light went off. I'm like,
Hello.
mm-mm,
Wow.
mm-mm. Back to
That,
bed. Didn't urinate that night at all.
no, not at all.
No.
That's one of
So
those ever get up.
yeah, no kidding. So when these things would come to you at night, did they look like people, or was it an energy? Was it?
It was more just I'd feel the weight of them sitting on the bed
Yeah.
and I'd hear them talk. So I'm clairaudient, which means I can actually hear them. Not
Okay.
necessarily see them because it's dark, it's the middle of the night.
Yeah.
when they start showing up, like pretty much after 11 o'clock, they started showing up to chat with me. And of course, I didn't know them any different. That I didn't know the difference between living and dead at that point. I was like, yeah,
Right.
okay, someone's talking to me during a
That's
conversation. They obviously know me. They're obviously relatives from the past or whatever, or maybe it's just random strangers coming through.
right. Because at first, when you say that, I think of Pet Cemetery and Stephen King. And I mean, like if a guy got hit
Mm.
by a car, did he come to you, with half his face gone or something? You know what I mean?
I don't think I've ever experienced that. No, I didn't know these people, and I didn't know they were not alive, so it was kind of weird
Right. Yeah. And
as
you
a
were, yeah.
child.
I mean, if you was a young kid, yeah, you wouldn't know the difference.
No,
Um,
I
but
cover my head with the blankets and just sit and chat with them for about 15, 20 minutes at a time. Then that guy
yeah,
would leave, and then another guy would come and sit on the bed. I said, okay.
and that's kind of reminiscent of some kids that, they say they have imaginary friends.
Yeah.
We're talking, who are you talking to? Well, I was talking to this guy or this lady or this, and there's like, wait a minute, there's nobody here by that name. There's nobody here. So, a lot of kids, and I think it has to do something with either your age, your innocence, maybe
I think
that,
it's the naivety
yeah, yeah,
as,
yeah,
as a
yeah.
child.
And you have very little judgment at
Yeah.
that young. So yeah. So fast forward, and I've been waiting to get back to this story again. You were a security guard, you was telling me, and you had an experience at a hospital in the morgue.
Yeah. Do I have to go
I
into
got
that again? I
Yeah,
have to talk
please,
about
because
that again.
that's a great story.
Okay. Look, we had the morgue alarm go off maybe three, four times at night because generally the wind will knock the door open, which is possible to do because you have to be actually opening the door from the inside of the morgue.
Okay.
And there's like an antechamber into the morgue, and then you have the morgue door and the back door. And also you have an autopsy room off to the left-hand side. So you got the three areas. The only way you can turn on the lights for the morgue is actually to do it from outside the antechamber.
Mhm.
So all the gurneys are in the antechamber, which is kind of part of the course. So the ambulance crews would come in the middle of the night. Now they've been pronounced dead, blah blah blah. So they bring them down to the morgue, and we basically strip them, remove all their personal belongings, and put them in a
Right.
bag, and toe tag and bag, which is kind of a weird way of saying it because that's basically what you're doing. You put them in the bag,
Right.
you
Right.
put the toe tag on, and that's basically for the coroner the next day. You're not missing anything. And then I kept going down, and we had about eight, maybe nine bodies in the morgue, and some of them had just come in. One was a German guy. I think he was at a German party or something and had a heart attack on the dance floor.
Oh,
But he
wow.
had like 4 or 5 grand in his pocket in the wallet.
Yeah.
So between us and the ambulance crew, we make sure that that goes directly into the belongings for the next of kin. So I've been down there 4 or 5 times. The alarm kept going off. I'm like, okay, I'm going down this time. I'm going to check that back door. So I went down and opened the door, turned the light on, walked in, looked around, checked the back door. Then the light went off. Then the only way I can get into the building is from the door behind me, and that's slammed. And I'm
Oh,
sitting there going, should I go for the back door and just go with the back door? But I ended up standing in the far right corner away from the door. I'm sitting there, I'm hearing rustling going on. Like the body bags were moving. I mean, they were literally moving. And I
oh,
started to freak out a bit. I didn't have a flashlight. I left my flashlight at the desk. I left my radio at the desk. I'm like, yeah, 'cause I've been down there so many times.
right.
Why do
Right.
I keep going down? I'll take my radio, don't need my flashlight, blah, 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 and turn on the light. And that's when I saw something stand up in the corner of the room. Giant figure, like way bigger than I am. And I started squealing like little girl because, I'm not used to that kind of
No.
involvement with the dead. Let's just say I didn't last very long at that job. I think I lasted about another month. but I would not go back down to the morgue again.
I can't
Because
imagine why.
occasionally they send us down to do viewings. Like, so you have to prepare the body, make it look as if it's kind of normal, with
Right.
a pillow and a blanket over the top of it, blah, blah, blah. So people can look at the face and say, yeah, that's my sister or whatever. That didn't bother me, but after that, I wouldn't go back in the morgue, and I definitely stayed away from it. And I had
Mm.
nightmares for like months afterwards. Like,
Well, I'm
I
telling
wouldn't do
you,
that job.
no.
Not me. No, sir.
The first thing that comes to my mind is when the door's locked. Um,
yeah, that freaked me out.
well, I mean, I'm coming out that door. I'm coming out that door. Ain't nothing stopping me. I'm
Yeah, I
coming
wasn't
out
gonna
that
have it.
sucker.
Now, if you've seen the episode, the guy who played me was pretty good. A little bit too overkill on the screaming bit, but hey, they did
Uh,
a good job of recreating it.
makes for good TV.
Yeah, it was different.
So, uh, so okay, with that, with that being an entity, that it basically towered over you. To me, the intimidation factor was unreal.
Yeah,
So, would did you? I mean, did it for the scenario, of just what happened? The door's locked. You couldn't get out. It was probably dark in there. You didn't have your light, your radio, nothing. Did you feel like was it demonic, or did it
it
just
was
intimidate you?
it was definitely intimidating. It was definitely large. It was bigger than I'd ever seen anything in a full-bodied apparition or a partial apparition ever in my life. I thought, that's pretty dark. It's pretty disturbing.
Yeah, for sure,
And I'd
for
never seen
sure.
that before. It was the first time I'd ever seen that before. Over 42 years. It's the last time I
Wow.
saw that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it'd be the last time I'd want to see it. So,
I mean, I've been locked inside morgue freezers, inside the actual drawer that you
yeah,
pull out.
no kidding.
Yeah.
Nah, that's too close to death, buddy.
Yeah, well, I've done it. I actually fell asleep in there because well, obviously the freezers weren't working. And it was like 36 degrees that day, and I fell asleep. I had a digital recorder with me and a camera, but I fell asleep. Actually, someone grabbed my leg when they were pulling me out again, and I
Uh-uh.
face planted against the gurney above me. Yeah, well, it was kind of funny. Kind
There
of funny,
is
I guess.
no way. I'm not afraid to die, but I don't want to go today. You know what I mean? And that's just too close.
Yeah, I don't think I
Yeah,
would have done that if I had experienced that mode thing
I'm not going to do that. Ooh,
beforehand. It's like, no, no.
Man, you mentioned a digital recorder, and one of my favorite things in the world is to listen to EVPs.
Yeah, same.
And I mean, you've over, the amount of time you've been doing this, I'm sure you have gotten some great ones.
Yeah, we used to use reel-to-reel tapes. That's how bad it gets. When
Wow.
I first started.
That was the
But
infancy.
yeah, we didn't have digital voice recorders back then.
Wow. And we talked about this last time, is it's really weird how a lot of times you'll capture something on the recorder that you don't hear with your ears.
Yeah,
But then there's other times that you do hear it audibly with your ears, and it's
but
not
don't
caught
catch
on the
it on an
recorder.
AVP. Yeah,
Yeah. So to me, it's kind of a known thing throughout the paranormal world that these things operate off some sort of energy.
yeah.
But EVPs, I look at EVPs like almost like two different kinds of hauntings. One, you
Mm,
have, of course, the residuals,
yeah,
which to me is like an echo in time that is captured in the environment.
correct.
And then that's the ones where you see, like at Gettysburg,
Hmm.
where you'll see like the same soldier,
Yeah,
over and over going through the same motions.
over by the
That,
cannon. Yeah, the
yeah,
cannons.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And then you have intelligence, when you can communicate in real time and get a response to a question.
yeah,
That creeps me out a little bit, because if that's the case, then these things are roaming around, whatever they are, entities, spirits, demons, whatever, it doesn't matter. But they're running around us and we can't see them.
No. Unless you're
So,
particularly looking for it, and then that's when they become more prevalent because you're
right.
looking for it. You're interacting.
Yeah. And that, it just to know that something's around you that you can't see is a little disturbing. Um, but the
With
intelligence part of it. Go ahead, Joe.
with EVPs, now I always liked the magnetic tape better than I did the digital recorders. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree too.
It seems like you can catch more stuff on tape for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, if you remember, Joe, when we were doing the Seton House over there, um, I've told this story before, but I was walking by what was at the time the old library at the top of the steps, and as I put my foot on the step, and I could hear it audibly in my right ear, particularly from that direction of that library, I heard something just as plain as day say hello, just like, "Hey, how you doing? Hello."
Yep, I
And
remember that.
I instantly froze. I was like, wait a minute, did I really just hear that with my ears?
Yeah.
And yeah, that was pretty creepy. Yeah. It didn't sound menacing or demonic or anything. It was just like somebody said hello. Like I
Yeah.
walked by the room and it was just like, hey, how you doing? But either way, that thing saw me, you know, and I couldn't see it. So that's a little unnerving. Um, but Joe is kind of and I don't know how, if you've ever messed with these or have known anybody to mess with them. Joe is kind of an aficionado on dowsing rods.
Nice. I
And
have used them before.
I've seen him use them, and it's pretty incredible to watch. I mean, what do you think about using that as a tool?
Dowsing rods.
Yes, sir.
When I was probably younger, it was a thing. I mean, we didn't have any other like digital dowsing. We didn't have any of that stuff. So it was kind of a tool back in the day, but I didn't really hold a lot of faith in dowsing
Yeah,
because it is potential to the operator itself as to how
right,
the crossing happens. But
right,
not because they're aware of it. They just
correct.
do it. They do it.
And I was one of those that foo-fooed it. I was like, whatever. I mean, whatever. You're subconsciously making those move, whatever. And
Yeah.
he put them in my hands, and he said, walk that direction. And when he did, they started crossing. But when they started crossing, I could feel a tingle in my right hand. And it was like,
Yeah.
well, here, take these things. They're demonic. I don't nothing to do with them
You're
stupid
just
copper
picking up on
rods.
the magnetic polarity of the area you're in.
Yeah,
So that's why they cross like that because the copper or whatever the hell they use
yeah.
them as now.
Now, mine was made out of silver.
Silver, even better.
Yeah, yeah, I never used anything but silver, and I don't know, it just makes it seem like they work better that way.
Yeah, probably do.
I
I
know
think
he can
the
find
ones we used to use were all copper. It was like,
a.
okay.
I know he can find a water line like nobody's business with him things.
Yeah, well, that's what they were designed for originally, was to
Yeah,
find a water source.
yeah. So, well, okay. So we'll go on to um, some demonic stuff. Have you ever, through the years, ran into something where you could honestly say, "Hey, that's a demon"?
Yeah, a couple of locations I've done that have been like they smell like excrement, basically. And you can feel the heavy energy in the air. It's like, no, this guy's not messing with us. But I've done locations like that where I kind of sort of dealt with it, but
Yeah,
it's out of my realm, even after 42 years. I don't think I can handle dealing with demons now because of my health. I don't want to make it any
right,
worse by messing around with that kind of stuff.
right.
But like I said, there's a heaviness to the air. It's a smell that you can't describe. It's just putrid. But haven't really had much interaction with them. I try to avoid them, but
I, I agree.
but when I have come into contact with them, I can guarantee as soon as I get out of a location, I'm going to be puking.
Really.
They just get so close and it really invades your space
Yes.
that the first thing you want to do when you get out of it is throw up.
Well, I was attacked by one for about 2 months, maybe 3 months, every night, just about.
Yeah.
Um, but I was in a weak state. I had heart surgery,
Mm.
and it almost, I mean, it was almost like clockwork. Just as soon as I would start dozing off, I would wake up and I would see this thing up in the corner of the living room, and
Yeah.
it was blacker than the night. And I could see it moving across the ceiling, back and forth, back and forth. And it just looked like
Stalking?
if you, well, if you took a pen on a piece of paper and just scribbled
Yeah.
with eyes and a teeth in the middle,
Yeah.
and this thing would come up to me, I mean, almost right in my face,
Hmm.
and then it would back off. I don't know if it was using up energy and had to back off and regroup, but this would go on and on and on. And, at first it kind of freaked me out really bad. And I was like, you know what? I'm not playing this game.
Yeah.
So the following night, the same thing happened, and it got in my face. And I physically said, you don't scare me. You're nothing. And it backed off. And I was in my mind, I was going, holy crap, that worked. And then boom, right back in my face. And it was like, you can do all you want. You ain't scaring me. And this went on, I mean, for nights after night after night. And then just once, it was just gone and
Yeah.
never come back. I don't know if it gave up or I don't know, but yeah,
That wasn't your
it,
pain meds?
it might have been.
Okay.
It could have been. But yeah, I mean, to have, to believe in good and evil, you have to have one and the other, not one or the other.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and when I tell people, and I don't tell a lot of people, but everybody knows now that I was attacked by one, or I don't even know if I would call it an attack. Maybe, uh, uh, maybe kind of an intimidation more than an attack.
Yeah.
But when I tell people that, it's, I don't know, it's just kind of weird for me to tell people that because a lot of them will go, yeah, whatever, but I know what I saw for night after night after night after night. So yeah, that's why I was kind of wondering, as far as anything you've come across that was just felt pure evil, demonic, because we have a friend, Jimmy Petanino, um, shameless plug, go get his book, Amazon, Facebook, whatever.
Yeah.
But he was on, we were talking about Malachi Martin. Um,
Mm.
Jimmy worked with him. He worked with the Warrens, and he filmed a lot of these exorcisms and stuff. And yeah, me and him had some very good conversations about demons. But the scary thing, more than anything that scares me, is when they know something about you that nobody else knows.
Yeah.
And through these exorcisms, they start speaking, Latin, German, Portuguese. I mean, whatever. But they'll start talking about the people that's there,
Hmm.
about something that they know of, and everybody's like, oh, how'd you know that? And that again tells me that these things are around us all the time. They
Continually.
see, yeah, and they see things you do or say when nobody else is around.
Hmm.
That's how they know this crap.
They'll
So,
tell
in
stories on me about when I was in Thailand. I don't want nobody to know that.
especially Bangkok.
That's right.
So, but yeah, man, I mean, that's just scary. That's to me, that's scarier than coming at me physically because you have seen things through my life that I, I, I mean, they may be around us watching this conversation right now, you know, and that is just giving them ammunition to use against you, and
Yeah.
that's scary.
Well, they tend to prey on your fears and insecurities
Sure.
because they know what they are. They know what your insecurities are. They know what your fears are,
Right.
and they feed off that energy.
Mm.
More negative energy,
Oh
stronger
yeah.
the
Yeah.
spirit.
You give them the ammo and they will grow
Yeah.
in strength. Absolutely. They will. So
It's the
yeah.
same if you're continually saying, "Oh, there's a ghost in my house," blah 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 blah. You're giving it energy, so it
Yeah. You
shows
speak that
itself
into
up.
existence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
If you just turn away and say, I'm not paying attention to you at all, so
yeah,
go
yeah.
go away. Go
I don't
away.
believe in you. Go away.
Yeah.
So, man. So
But, but some people are so insecure that they need that attachment as such. So now they have kind of an opportunity to meet people because, oh, we have a ghost here. Can you come in and do a quick check for us? I think a lot of
yeah,
it's they need to have it. They need to have that thing.
it's not really attention, but they need to have something. Yeah, I
They
get it.
can, yeah, they
Something.
can hold on to it and say, oh, yeah, I have
Yeah,
a ghost, I have a ghost, I have a ghost.
and then you have these other people who are trying to bring this into their life, and they don't understand what they're doing.
No.
Some of these attachments that get with people, I mean, it can be pure hell.
Yeah.
So, people dabbling in, Ouija boards or, witchcraft, that type
Yeah.
of stuff. I mean, you got to be careful what you wish for because, sometimes you get something you ain't getting rid of very easily.
Exactly.
And no,
Messing with pendulums is not a good thing either.
no, pendulums are terrible.
Yeah, I'm not messing with that. And I'm not messing with Ouija boards. My mother kind of chastised me when I was like 13 or 14 years old.
No
She
way.
said, I don't want to see you ever touch one of those things again.
That is a portal just waiting to be opened. And
Yeah.
they sell those as a game
Yeah.
to kids.
Yeah,
Barbie. Barbie
Come
Ouija.
on.
Parker Brothers sells
My
them.
Little Pony Ouija board. I'm like, you kidding me?
Are you serious? Wait, I mean, you trying to bring back the pink pony spirit? I mean, what the hell? I mean, that is, uh, but do you know what? That's what these things do. They prey on the unknowing, the ones that don't believe, and especially kids. It's something about kids.
Yeah.
If you get them now, you know what kind of damage can you do throughout a lifetime?
Well, they're more susceptible to that kind of interference as a child.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, huh? Never looked at it that way. But my mom was the same way. She said,
Yeah.
"Don't bring that into the house, and don't ever play with it at all."
Yeah, well, both my mother and grandmother were both mediums, so it's kind of like,
So they knew firsthand what could happen.
yeah. My grandmother used to do a lot of tea leaf reading,
Okay, yeah,
or tasseography, as it's called, if
yeah,
you want to use the official language of it. But she was good at it.
huh?
And pretty much guaranteed every weekend, my mum would have like a dozen people over and they'd sit in the circle in the dark. And I'm like,
Yeah, right.
oh, when I was young, I'm like, what the hell? What are you guys doing in there? And she started dragging me in. Yeah, it was creepy.
Yeah, it
Especially when you
definitely
get,
is.
especially when you get some of the mediums who can actually change their t total appearance
What? I've never
and
even
and
heard of that.
yeah, and take over that spirit into their body.
Wow.
It's like
So
you're in
I
a
get,
big white room and you open the door to let that person in.
and they just use your body as
Yeah.
and I guess an outlet.
And the facial expressions completely change into that person that's
Well,
is
you
inside
know
the body.
that makes sense. If you watch exorcisms, um, people's physicalities change,
Yeah.
their mannerisms change, their voices change. So yeah, I could see. Yeah, okay,
Yeah. I think the first time I saw that, I was kind of creeped out.
I bet
But yeah, but after a while, I'm like, yeah, okay. It's kind of neat that you actually channel that spirit into your body.
that is. Oh, that's creepy. That you can allow that to come and go. When that's okay,
Well, the first time I saw it, I thought this guy's faking it. It's got to be fake, right? It's got to be fake.
right.
But when his entire face changes physically, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, I was watching an exorcism at a church, and I mean, this church was in the middle of service, and
Yeah.
this pastor, I just didn't single this person out, but as he was preaching, he just kind of started walking down and just stood over top of this person. How he knew, I mean, I don't know. Um, but instantly that person's face turned. And I mean, it was probably one of the most evil things that, evil faces that a human could make. It just
Yeah.
turned to, I mean, it looked like something out of a movie. I mean, just the face completely changed and it just had pure hatred and evil.
Yeah.
And that's another scary thing that, there's one place where the devil and God shake hands, and that's church. But just because you go to church or you're, whatever religion you are, Christian or whatever, it doesn't matter. That doesn't mean you're not susceptible.
No.
So it, I just, that blew my mind how the face just changed, and I forgot all about that till you said that. So, okay.
It's
So let's get
manifesting the
into
spirit. Manifesting a spirit is what they
yeah,
class it as.
and just the pure hatred and evil that would come out of this woman, and of all people, it was a woman.
Yeah.
Like she wanted to rip his heart out.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
And so, yeah, that's scary, man. How many people's walking around like that, that don't even know? Of course, Malachi Martin talked about the perfectly possessed.
Yeah.
And, the first time I heard that was like, oh my gosh, we're walking around with these people.
Yeah, I'm a big
that,
fan of Malachi.
oh, yeah. Yeah. He's probably one of my favorites. The old Art Bell shows, the old Coast to Coast, when he would come on there and do interviews. Oh, gosh, they were so good.
Yeah.
So good. So you remember those, don't you, Joe?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was every night thing listening to Art Bell.
Yeah, but particularly the Malachi Martin ones, where he would talk about all these exorcisms and stuff.
Yeah, they gave
And
me the creeps. So
it always did. And he talked about where he could just walk down the road or walk down the street. He was, I guess, lived in New York City there towards the end of his life, and he could just look at a person and know they were possessed. That is a special gift right there. So give us another good story, Glenn. That's you've done this, the paranormal for 40 years. You've got to have some good stories.
I have so many, it's not funny. Like I've been bitten, scratched, thrown down a flight of stairs, had a chair and a table thrown at me, flashlight, just
Yeah.
totally harassed. I'm like, and you think, well, why do you keep going back and doing that every time you go in? Like because I enjoy it. I enjoy helping spirits move on if I can. If I
Right.
can, I'll get rid of them. I'll just force them out.
Don't
And it
don't
took me,
go where you go, but you can't stay here.
yeah, that's pretty much where it's at with me. Now, if you want to be an asshole about it, which, sorry for
Right.
the language,
No, you're good.
but it's just like, you know what? I don't care. I can either help you or I can get rid of you. You have a
That's got to
choice.
be interesting.
You gotta have a choice. So I
Your
give them
choice
the
is
option. I give them the option. Do you want to work with me or do you want to not work with me?
it's your choice, buddy. Whatever you want to do. So now, we got a guy that we talked to, Stan Howard. He does cemeteries.
Yeah, I'm
So
not a fan.
I say that's got to be almost the holy grail of finding things. I mean, where else would you find, EVPs or aberrations or whatever? I mean, other than a place of rest of dead people.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing that stuff when I was 12 years old.
I ain't going
I
in
was
no
up in
cemetery.
graveyards every night, and I'm like, yeah, no problem at all. I could sit there and just look around, and occasionally I'll take photographs. Back in the day, you had the old
Yeah,
Kodak
yeah.
snapshot thing, and like, but yeah, I didn't really feel bad about being in a graveyard, but it does open you up for a lot more
Oh yeah.
nasty events.
And that's how and before I kind of got into this, we even just visiting a graveyard, if it's of a relative or whoever, you never know what's going to be attached to you when you leave that place.
Yeah, especially if they know that you can hear them. or
Yeah,
See,
potentially see them like, yeah,
that's the
interaction
thing that
happens.
intrigued me about ghost hunting was
okay,
you go to these places and you're actively looking
Yeah.
for ghosts or spirits or whatever. And then when you
that's
leave
true.
there, that sucker's on your back and you take it home with you. And that always just kind of worried me.
Yeah, because Joe and I used to ghost hunt,
Yeah.
and I enjoy talking about it. I enjoy interviewing people about it. But for me, I don't do it anymore. Just for that reason, right there. I got enough problems in my life. I don't need some kind of spiritual problem following me home.
No, I can kind of totally avoid graveyards if I can get away with it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you get some investigators, oh, let's go to a graveyard today. Like, why? No, this graveyard was built in like 1642. I'm like, yeah, okay.
They're still
I
dead.
just don't feel like it. They're still dead.
So you was talking about castles.
Yeah.
Um, I can't imagine um, ghost hunting in a castle. That's got to be
It's
an incredible experience just being in a castle.
it's different. Definitely different. Like
See,
most of the floors are stone.
I was gonna say in my mind, I see stone everywhere, kind of mossy, drab.
Yeah. If you want to get piles, it's a good place to investigate. Now you know what piles are. Just kind of constipation because you're
Oh
sitting on cold concrete for the entire
yeah,
night. It's like, no, no, no. It's not my
yeah,
favorite thing to do.
uh,
Although I do like the atmosphere of being in a castle.
yeah.
And there's so
Uh,
many different areas of the castle, like the dungeons and the upper bedrooms and all that kind of stuff, the banquet halls. But no, I've had mixed results from working in a castle. Like sometimes it's nothing's happened. Other times it's just been nuts. You get to
right.
see full-bodied apparitions, partial
Okay.
apparitions.
With EVPs, if
Yeah,
okay, if you capture one, say outside,
yeah,
it sounds like somebody outside.
yeah,
But if you're in, say, a castle or maybe a mausoleum or something, and you get these EVPs and they echo,
yeah. I
but you
mean,
still
they're
didn't hear
inside with you. They're inside with you
yeah,
right there.
exactly. But you still didn't hear it with your ears. But that means they are there with you right there. Because if your voice echoes in whatever atmosphere you're in, and
Yeah.
the EVP you captured echoes as well, that means that sucker's standing right there beside you.
Yeah.
That's a little unnerving.
Well, we did a location recently in British Columbia, actually, where there's a lot of artifacts, antiques in the building. So we were trying our best not to walk into the antiques as we went down the hallway.
Uh,
And I got an EVP as we were doing that because I'm following the guy in front of me. I got the camera on, and he had to quit dancing. I'm like, what? Because we were like moving around the artifacts
yeah,
and like
around
we didn't
the
want to knock anything out. She said, "Oh, quit dancing." And it was a British
well,
voice. It was actually a British kind of old 1900s type females. And you just quit dancing.
okay. Well, with that, I mean, uh, different parts of the world. I imagine there's EVPs, around the world in German and whatever.
Yeah,
Um, those are the also when you hear one with an accent,
yeah,
uh, that's got to be kind of exciting to okay. So if you're down south in the states and somebody says y'all quit that damn dancing,
yeah,
it's like okay, you're from here,
yeah,
but if you hear one with say a British accent that is totally out of the norm, like say you're here in Alabama, then you're
yeah,
thinking that feller ain't from here.
yeah.
So did he travel there from whatever, or was he maybe come to the States? I don't know.
A lot of people from British Columbia moved from England. That's
Yeah,
hence the British Columbia thing. But yeah, so the accents back in the 17, 1800s were proper British English.
right,
You know,
right,
they had an uppity thing about them, kind of snotty matron
right.
type thing. So the accent kind of seems on par for the time and date for the location, which is kind of interesting at the best because we weren't expecting to have like a schoolmaster matron type
Right.
voice tell us to shut the hell up. Well, she
Stern.
didn't say shut the hell, but she did say shut up.
Right.
I'm like,
Just
no, British.
kind of
That's
proper and
100%
stern.
British.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You get accents.
yeah. I've done a couple of places in England which were French-speaking people, and I go, where the hell did they come from? But apparently they were in there.
That's pretty cool. So, okay, with that, I mean, do you find like if you go to a place where it was either a battlefield or something tragic happened,
Yeah, a
um, those tend to be a little more active, I guess.
little more intense.
Yeah, yeah, and we get to me that we go back to that energy is trapped in your environment.
Yeah,
But again, if that energy is trapped in your environment, it should be residual versus intelligent to me.
yeah. That's what I
Um,
probably expect to be residual over intelligent,
right.
unless they're communicating directly with you and answering your questions in real time. Then that's intelligent for me.
And that's so exciting when that happens.
Yeah,
That is super exciting when that happens. So, and Joe and I were investigating this one place, and we were in the basement. And prior to this, we had a group of people, and there was a girl. I don't know, what was she, Joe? Like 19, 17, 18, 19.
Yeah.
And she started just crying, just bawling. And all she would say is the white face.
yeah,
Well, we were all standing around there. We didn't see no white face. So it freaked her out enough that she went upstairs and left. So a couple weeks later, there was four of us down in the basement. We were just sitting there talking in the dark. And I am not kidding you. From out of the corner of my eye, I saw this thing. It had a white face and it looked like it slithered like a snake on the ground.
yeah,
And I knew it was that peripheral vision thing that if you turned and looked at it, it was going to be gone. So I wouldn't turn and look. And I wouldn't say anything. And the rest of them were talking. And this white face jumped like right here in my face. And I still wouldn't look at it. And it slowly backed off. And then it shot up in there again. And this is the interesting part. I didn't say it out of my mouth, but in my mind, I said, keep going. If you're trying to scare me, you're going to have to do better than that.
yeah,
Never said it. As soon as I thought that, that thing didn't jump here. It jumped directly in front of me. And
yeah,
I kind of jumped back and I told him, I said, nope, I'm done. I'm out of here.
yeah.
So,
How's that for a scare? You're like,
so, so that
coax me
tells
into
me,
doing something worse. Like, okay, good.
but that tells me that them things, that it could hear my mind, because I never said it physically.
Yeah,
I was just thinking it. And in my mind, I said, if you're trying to scare me, you're going to have to do better than that. And instantly it shot straight up into right in my face.
And Tracy made tracks right
I
back
was
up those
gone.
steps.
I'd
yeah.
stood up.
I'm pretty sure you left tracks.
I stood up and
Probably in your shorts.
said, nope, I'm out of here, boys. Y'all can stay down here all you want.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think no.
Tracy left skid marks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
that's
the
what I'm
way up the
thinking.
steps.
Tracks. Yeah.
But yeah, so okay. So now we're talking about these things could, I don't want to say read your mind, but they can hear your thoughts.
Yes.
Um, so there's no hiding.
No, it's not.
There's no hiding at all. Um, but yeah, that's probably one of the creepiest things that ever happened to me is when that thing shot directly into my face, and I was like, hell no, I'm out of
Yeah,
here.
that's not fun. It's not fun at
No,
all.
no, no, no. And then we go back to Joe, talking about, well, these things are following you home, and that's what. Shortly after that, I was like, you know what? I'll talk about it all day. I'll interview people all day. I enjoy talking about it. I enjoy listening to stories, but I am done. Nope.
Yeah.
And it's not for me.
I mean, my wife's been investigating with me for the last 10 years. She was my original case manager for the society.
Okay.
And then she got interested in coming out, and she's been doing it for quite a bit of time. But we just did Fort Steele in British Columbia, and she got attacked in the
Oh
jail
man.
cell, but because the jail cells are like side by side by side, and they got the big heavy wooden doors and stuff. Apparently, one of the inmates that was in there back in the early 1800s uh, froze to death in the cell,
Ooh.
and he's still in there. He's not leaving. He can go in between cell to cell to cell, but he can't walk through the door. And you can't open the door because another investigator went in, closed the door, and couldn't get out. So now they just lock that door.
So he's basically trapped.
He's trapped.
That's got to be horrible to live that over and over and over.
Well, he was strong enough to make my wife ill. So,
And you know, that's another thing that these things have the ability to physically make you sick, to cause you some health problems.
yeah, well, she almost passed out and she was ready to throw up. So I dragged her outside straight away. I'm like, yeah, you got to get out of here. Outside.
Yeah, you got to
So,
go.
yeah, I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, we had an investigator with us, and she would get headaches,
Yeah,
and I guess that's kind of a normal thing. So I never had anything make me physically sick. I never had anything make me have a headache or anything like that. I would just get just an unnerved feeling, that something bad happened here, or it just didn't. The energy was all off. It
yeah.
just didn't feel right.
I think a lot of it depends on how close you allow them to get to you.
Right. Yeah, sure. I get it. Yeah. So yeah, it- it's fascinating. Not only the EVPs, but it's just that the the difference between the residual and the intelligent.
Intelligent. Yeah.
Yeah.
It always just
You
made me feel nervous, kind of a nervous feeling.
you
Nervous
make
is
me
good.
nervous anyway.
Nervous is good.
Nervous is a good thing.
Then
Nervous is definitely a good thing.
I want
100%.
to run away.
Well, that's one of the responses that humans have. We have that ability to know when something's off,
Yeah.
or to know when something's not right.
Yeah.
Everybody's been in a situation where they can feel the energy change in the room or in the house or wherever you're at, and it's like, I need to get out of here. And I think that is something that we have in our DNA. That is,
That's a fight or flight response.
well, yeah, it gives us the ability to live tomorrow.
Yeah, you can imagine going into a room full of people and they've been arguing for the last 30, 40 minutes.
You
Getting a
feel
bit,
that.
yeah, you actually feel that energy as soon as you walk in the room. It's like, oh,
Yeah. It's like,
something's off.
yeah, you definitely feel that.
Yeah.
And again, that is something I think that we have in our DNA that we need to back away from to keep us alive.
I think it's our spidey senses.
Absolutely.
That
Yeah.
makes any sense. Now you just pick up on
Sure. You get
the
to
negativity in the room and you respond to it.
slowly walk back and say, sorry.
Yeah, wrong room.
Yep.
I'll go in the next one.
That's true. So,
And that's the
you
same with
know,
spirits. No, you walk in the room, you feel the negative
you can.
right off the bat.
We were investigating a place close to Joe's house that a guy committed suicide.
Yeah,
But nobody. Well, one of the guys knew what room that happened in,
yeah.
and we went all through the house, and we got into this particular room. As soon as I walked in, I said, "This is the room." And the guy that knew that, he said, "How do you know that?" I said, "You can just feel it. It's
Mm.
heavy in here. It's just heavy."
Yeah.
and he pointed towards the ceiling where the bullet hole was. And I was just like, holy crap, I can't believe that I knew that this was the room.
Was that lawyer? That was that lawyer's office, wasn't it?
Well, it's a lawyer's office now. Yeah. Yeah.
That
But
used
yeah,
to
as soon
be
as,
our town's the only doctor that our town had in it, and that was his house to start with.
but as soon as you walked into that room, it just felt heavy.
Did you put your hand on the actual bullet hole
No, it was in the ceiling. Couldn't reach it.
in the ceiling? Oh,
Yeah.
bummer.
Yeah. Apparently the guy went through underneath and
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, that is a part of our DNA that tells us, hey, this has got bad energy in it. Either,
Most of my investigators say, how come you're always touching stuff? So I'm feeling the energy. And
you
they
know
just
what?
don't get it. I'm like, I just walk around the room and touch stuff, and all of a sudden I pick up on certain things.
I never thought of that, as far
I
as,
haven't either. I haven't never thought about that.
no, not okay. Well, with that, what do you think about things that are attached to objects?
And that's quite possible too. I believe
Yeah.
that things do pick up on the energy within an environment where something nasty has happened, and it retains that energy.
Okay.
Even inanimate objects,
Yeah.
basically
You know,
dolls, that
I
kind of
say
stuff.
you hear about these possessed dolls and
Yeah.
evil dolls and things like that. But
Like,
what about,
I've already had to deal with one of those.
okay, now I got to hear it.
It's called Mandy. She's up in Quesnel at the museum. A lot of weird stories about hearing a little girl giggle during the night. Car
Oh,
keys would
hell
go
no.
missing, that kind of stuff.
Kids are the worst, man.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
ended up donating it to the local museum, but it was owned by a child that died at about age of 7.
Wow.
But I've had cameras on that thing all night. I mean, literally all night. I walked out of the room, went back to the hotel to sleep for the night, come back next morning. 4 minutes, and all the cameras just shut down. I'm like,
No
oh,
joke.
great. So I just
So,
wasted an entire night of investigating by not being there to turn the camera back on again. I'm like, why did this turn off? And it all turned off at the same time.
okay. Well, I mean, if you think about it, these things are probably battery operated.
I was
And
plugged into the wall.
was it really? And it
Yeah,
quit.
yeah,
What I was getting at was, we was talking about how these things operate through energy.
yeah. Well, they drain batteries.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's kind of a normal thing. Somebody's battery will be fresh and then gone in no
Yeah,
time. Cause, where I'm assuming that these things drain the energy out of the batteries to get the energy they need to either manifest or do an EVP or even close a door or scratch you or whatever. So,
that
but
makes
if
a lot of
yours,
sense.
yeah, oh, absolutely. But if yours was plugged into the wall, to me, that's endless energy for this thing.
Yeah, we had 4 cameras plugged in the wall. We weren't going to mess around with batteries because we know what happens occasionally.
Right.
And there was no way I was going to just leave these cameras on this door all night with batteries. It's not happening.
Yeah. Yeah. So, with inanimate objects being attached to spirits or whatever, divot boxes.
Divot. Okay.
So I'm not real sure about that.
There's some truth to it, but it's not necessarily all divot boxes are that way.
Right. I mean, okay, you get this thing, it's closed up. It usually has candle wax all around it or whatever to keep it sealed.
Yeah, yeah.
So my question is how the hell did they get it in there? You know?
Well, they put it in there and then they seal it up with wax, which is kind of weird, but hey.
Yeah. I mean, well, if that's the case, I'd shake the hell out of it for a while.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Just
even be opening this.
well, no, I'm not
I'll be
tempting
there with
fate.
the EVP, the EMF meter, and just checking that thing out before I even go anywhere near. But I wouldn't even touch it,
No,
to be
no.
honest.
The closest I'd do is bury it.
Yeah, well, that's not gonna help. That's not gonna help either.
Well, no, but it makes me feel good.
It's better if you just
Well,
toss it in the river.
out of sight, out of mind.
That's right.
Yeah,
Get
toss it in
again.
the river. They get that flowing energy. You'll be gone in no
Yeah,
time at all.
Okay. Well, yeah, with that. Okay, let's go with that room. Um, Flowing water is energy.
Yeah.
And, we have a lot of mills around this part of the country that are supposedly haunted. You would have, a mill running through the water,
Yeah.
and it usually had two stones and it ground, flour and corn or produced energy or whatever it done. Uh, you know, um, I think there's a lot of truth to that
Yeah.
just because of flowing water. And I don't know if you remember last week when I was telling you about a few of the things that happened in my old farmhouse, where we would see the apparition going down the hallway and things like that.
Yeah.
My TV would kick on and off, and just a few other things. But
Yeah, and y'all had that cat that walked down the
I,
hallway.
I had the cat that we didn't have a cat, but we would see a white cat. But come to find out, there was an underground creek under my house.
Yeah, we do it.
We were well, and we were the only ones. We had the house built. We were the only ones that ever lived there, but we were having these experiences. So, at first I thought something was attached to us,
Yeah.
but come to find out, the guy that was doing some backhoe work for me, and he said, "You've got an underground creek running underneath here." And I said, "Underground creek? What are you talking about?" He said, "There is actually water flowing about 8 feet below your house."
Yeah.
And he said at one time this was a creek, but there's still water. And he hit some kind of rock or something. He knew, what it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was far. Well,
Yeah.
there you go.
That would definitely create some activity. I'm guaranteed that.
Yeah, yeah.
Guaranteed of it. I've seen it
Because
before.
that anything that moves has energy.
Yes.
So that would explain a whole lot. I
Yeah.
needed Joe with these dowsing rods a long time ago to come out there and tell me I had a creek under my house.
Yeah. Well, as
I
we
knew
say,
it.
energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It just transforms to a
It's
different form.
exactly. It transforms from different energy.
If you wanted to quote Einstein, but hey,
That's right.
same
Uh,
thing.
yeah, and it's one of those things that what goes in motion stays in motion, and the energy kind of transfers. And you're right; it can be created, it can't go away. It just transfers different types of energy.
I mean, what happens
So
to our soul, our consciousness when we pass on? Obviously, our energy is going to go somewhere else.
that's something else I never thought of, really, because you think about it, your soul or spirit or whatever, it has to have a type of energy to make it work.
Yeah.
So when you die, and there is somewhat some proof that when you die, the soul leaves the body because your body becomes lighter.
Yes.
So that means that energy that can't go away has been transferred
To something
something or
else.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
Huh. I know this. I'm learning all kinds of stuff now.
A little different way of looking at it.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's like, four eyes are better than two, so
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. The energy of your soul is gone. It has to go somewhere.
I mean, it's our consciousness. Like we're thinking, breathing animals right now, but once our body is done, we expel the energy that's inside that body and transfer it to something different. If that makes sense.
Huh. It makes total sense. Wow. I never dreamed, never thought anything like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll be thinking about that the rest of the night now.
Hey, Seth's saying it's time already. I'm like, really?
Son,
It can't be an hour, man. You kidding
I
me?
think it is. Well,
That was a
Glenn,
quick hour.
yeah, no joke. I mean, we need a part two to this.
Yeah, we have
Um,
to.
Listen, I appreciate you so much coming on. I appreciate through all the stuff we went through last week, you coming back on, and I would love to have you back on,
Sure.
if we can make that
Yeah,
happen sometime.
it's been great to meet you too.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah,
awesome. Nice to meet you, Joe.
absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. That's probably the first time that's ever been uttered in the world.
Yeah, right.
All right,
Well,
guys. Remember nighthawk-radio.com. Look us up on YouTube, YouTube Music, and Facebook, all under Nighthawk Radio. Rumble, Nighthawk Radio, one word. Remember, September 27th, we are going to start carrying the Ohio Blitz Indoor Football Arena. Seth's going to be calling those games. We are on the Live 365 app. Be sure to check out Seth's Daily Podcast on Sundays at 5, In Dark Places, Monday at 6. Two Girls, One Cut, Thursday at 7. And don't quote me, it's probably nothing. The new show, Tuesday at 7. So with that, guys, it's been interesting. Glenn, again, thank you so much for your time. And
Hey, no problem.
it's been interesting. So with that, Seth, man, take us home.
At Nighthawk Radio, we always push the button.